So, Arsenal versus Bournemouth is on Saturday, and I'm seeing a lot of people out there saying this game's going to be so easy. This is basically a 3 points that are guaranteed. And look, I've got some news for people. This game might actually end up being more difficult than a lot of people are hoping for. Look, am I expecting Arsenal to lose? No, of course not. Can Arsenal win this game comfortably? Yes, of course. We have some brilliant players. But so do Bournemouth, and it's worth noting that there's some facts that we're going to go through in this video, like I said, that might suggest this could be a difficult game. Before we get into it though, just quickly, just do me the favour, just give me a like on this video. So I think the best place to start is going to be with Bournemouth's form, okay? So look, the last game, they beat Brighton 3-0. That was a Brighton team that we know is very, very good. Probably not as good as they was last season, but it's still a decent team. That's still a decent win. 3-0 against Brighton is always a good result. And then they went to Wolves away and they won 1-0. We know how difficult it's been for people to go to the Molineux this season and pick up points. And Bournemouth finished that game with 10 men as well. They won 1-0. And they finished the game with 10 men and they were still able to get the 3 points. Before that, they lost to Villa, which, as we know, can happen. So I'm not going to judge them on that. And then before that, they drew with Man United. So Bournemouth are a team that definitely have ability. If you look in the table, they're 10th position. You know, they're in and around the likes of Newcastle, Chelsea. They're above Brighton. So like I said, this isn't a bye. This isn't a 3 points guaranteed easy. Could Arsenal make it that way? Yes. Because we do have the players that can really penetrate and hurt Bournemouth. And I hope that happens in this game. There's some things we're going to go through. There's definitely plenty of places to discuss in this Arsenal team. You know, are you of the opinion that Arsenal can probably rest a few players in that game, in this game? Look, if I'm being honest, I was looking at this game like that because we had such big games like Tottenham, Chelsea, Wolves. But now the game's here, I kind of have the mindset of, look, we've got 3 games left. I don't think in any of these games you can look at it and say we need to rest players. If there was any game that I looked at within this schedule and thought maybe that's a chance to rest players, it probably was this Bournemouth game. But after maybe deep diving slightly more into how they're playing and what kind of players they've got, I am not under the mindset that we can rest players in this game. Arsenal have to play their best team. We've had 6 days rest, which, you know, we've just come out of such a busy period. This is the most rest we've had for the past 3, 4, 5 games. So there should be a level of freshness there. Now, like I said, six days isn't a lot, but it's certainly more than we've had in these past few games. So I think we play a strong team in this one. But let's keep it on Bournemouth. What danger men do Bournemouth have? We obviously know the main one, which is Solanke. 20 goals this season. He's outscoring any Arsenal player. So that's a threat that we definitely need to and will be aware of. Mikel Arteta and the coaching team will be well aware of how Dominic Solanke plays. Now, the only plus side is, like I've said in the previous video, Arsenal have had to deal with some tricky strikers this season. Haaland, Harry Kane, amongst others. And they've been very, very successful. So I'm expecting Solanke to maybe cause us some problems. But I think they have threats in the wide area as well that can definitely give us something to think about. You know, they've got Justin Kluivert, who has actually been very, very good. He's got 9 goals and 2 assists this season. And then if we look on the other wing, Semenyo, he's got 8 goals and 2 assists. So both of these wingers are outperforming the likes of a Gabriel Martinelli, for example. Or he's in and around those kind of numbers. So these are definitely players, you know, that can affect the game. They do have pace, they have skills, and if they get the ball to Solanke, are able to whip a ball in, we know what Dominic Solanke can do in front of goal. There's been a lot of links earlier on in this season linking Solanke with Arsenal. I wouldn't actually take him at Arsenal. I still hold that opinion, but I can still appreciate a good striker when I see one, and Solanke is definitely that. So the first, you know, thing I want to talk about in terms of lineup is, what do you do? I think there's a few positions, again, where there might be a cause for discussion. You know, what do we do at left back? Again, what do we do with centre mid? And what do we do on that left wing? And maybe potentially up front. You know, some people I've seen are in the opinion that we maybe rest Havertz in this game and bring Jesus in. Let me know your thoughts on that. And let me know what starting lineup you would go with in this game. I would go with David Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel. And look, I don't mind Tomiyasu's performance in the last game, but I wouldn't mind seeing Kiwior in this game. I think Zinchenko, For me, I would probably discount for this game. I wouldn't be shocked if Mikel Arteta uses him because, you know, he's had limited game time recently. So maybe Mikel Arteta is looking at this game and thinking, if I don't play him in this game, there probably won't be much more minutes for the rest of the season. But then again, maybe Mikel Arteta won't even have that thought because all he wants to do is win the game. So he's not worried about giving players minutes to make them happy. And that's exactly the way you should be. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kiwior. Again, I wouldn't mind if we see tomiyasu. I don't think he particularly done anything wrong. I think he did get beat a couple of times against Kulusevski. But Kiwior could have have done the same thing and got beat by Kulusevski. So either Kiwior or tomiyasu. Let me know what you do there. Midfield. Can Partey play again? Now, if he can, you play him. But you do need to kind of bear in mind that we're going to be playing Manchester United away at Old Trafford, which on paper probably looks like a more difficult fixture. Can you go into this game with that thought in your mind? Can you look ahead at all in the Premier League? We know how hard these games are going to be. And like I said, Bournemouth are no mugs. They're no pushover. So do you have to play Thomas Partey in this game? I guess it all comes down to the analytics and the computer science, which a lot of the game is run off now. We'd have to see where Thomas Partey's red line is and if he's anywhere near that. If he is, you do have to rest him in this game, and you can bring Jorginho in, who has been a useful addition this season. So let me know in that midfield position, what would you do, Partey or Jorginho? I would go for Partey if he's fit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Jorginho reintroduced back in for this game. And then I'll go Declan Rice and Odegaard, Saka, and again, I stick with Trossard on the left. Look, Trossard is in a better run of form than Martinelli, in my opinion. I do see the sense in playing Martinelli because Trossard was, you know, he was bad in the last game. So if you're looking at it from that mindset, then okay, I'll have no problem with you bringing Martinelli in. Trossard's had his chance in the last game. He didn't perform. And when Gabriel Martinelli did come in, he did actually look quite bright. So to be fair, I'm 50-50 on that position. I wouldn't mind Trossard. But for me, of course, I'm sure like many of you guys, when Gabriel Martinelli is fit and firing, he is our best left winger. So I also wouldn't mind seeing that. Let me know what one you would go for. And then I would go Kai Havertz up front again. Is that harsh on Gabriel Jesus? Maybe, but Havertz is playing in such a way that it's making it difficult to drop him. He got man of the match in the last game, in my opinion. I thought Havertz was fantastic. And Jesus is in a difficult position. There's a lot of rumours going around about Jesus, which we will cover in another video. But, you know, Jesus has sort of let this happen. You can't be a top striker for a top team like Arsenal and only score 4 goals in the season. And then when later down the line, if you're not being played, you then can't feel hard done by because you would have had plenty of chances to get them numbers up. And unfortunately, whether Jesus has got the ability or not, scoring 4 goals for Arsenal is not going to cut it. So if you've got Havertz who's come in and he's scored 10, 12, 15 goals, you go with that option, absolutely. At the minute, Kai Havertz is a far superior finisher to Gabriel Jesus. So for me, I go with Kai Havertz. Like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. What do you do in those positions? Let me know down below. You know, Man City play after Arsenal. This is the last time we play before Man City. So this is probably the last chance we're going to get to put that bit of pressure on Man City. You know, they're going to be playing Wolves at 5:30. Wolves, a difficult game. Man City, of course, have the players to beat Wolves. They have the players to beat anyone. They are the best team in the world at the minute. You know, they're the treble holders. So I hope Wolves can pull off a miracle. You know, if we can go into that Man United game needing to win away at Old Trafford, I would just love it if we can have it. Do I expect Man City to drop points against Wolves? Look, it's Man City. I don't really expect them to drop points against anyone. It's going to be difficult. I think the game I look at the most and think if they're going to drop points, it's going to be in that game. It's probably going to be Tottenham. But are Tottenham going to want that to happen? You know, I'm seeing so many Tottenham fans out there saying, I hope we play the kids. Jamie O'Hara, TalkSport, give the kids a run out. Expressions oozing, give the kids a run out. They don't want to beat Man City, even if it means they're missing out on Champions League qualification, which by the time that game comes around, they will know if they're able to get in the Champions League or not. So I hope Spurs get themselves in a position where they need to beat Man City to get into the Champions League. I think that's the last kind of hope that we can have as Arsenal fans. You know, if we're wanting Tottenham to do us a favour. If we want Tottenham Hotspur to do us a favour, they need to be going into that Man City game needing to win it to get into the Champions League. I think that's the only chance Arsenal are going to have. But I think it is good that Arsenal play first. Maybe like I said, put the pressure on Man City. It's a 12:30 kickoff, though, against Bournemouth, and we know they're notorious for throwing up dodgy results. So I hope these Arsenal players are ready. I hope these Arsenal players are prepared, you know, and just keep winning. That's all Arsenal can do at this point. We have to keep winning these games and just see what happens. That's just my thoughts on the game, though. I would love to know everyone's thoughts and opinion. What's your score prediction? I'm going to go with a 3-0 win to Arsenal. I think Arsenal can keep a clean sheet. Now, it's going to be difficult because, like I said, they have a very good front three. If we can keep them quiet, I think this is going to be brilliant practice and a good exercise going into that massive game against Man United at Old Trafford. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on the game. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, please just do me the favour. Hit like on this video. Just like it and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.